Please welcome Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot.
Visual effects push the boundaries of what we see on screen.
Their work makes the impossible seem possible.
With breathtaking ambition, they create magic that wraps its arms around our wildest imaginations.
Here are the nominees for Best Visual Effects.
Something felt off the moment Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot stepped onto the Oscar stage together. The cameras were rolling, the audience was watching, but there was no warmth, no smiles, no friendly nods, not even a polite glance. They stood side by side, yet it felt like they were on opposite sides of a battlefield. The tension was impossible to miss, and they weren't even trying to hide it. For months, rumors had been swirling about a feud between Zegler and Gadot, and now, under the bright lights of Hollywood's biggest night, they seemed to confirm it without saying a word. This wasn't just awkward, it was a public display that these two co-stars simply cannot stand each other. But why? What happened behind the scenes of Snow White to cause such a public breakdown? The answer likely lies in a production marred by controversy, negative press, and a casting decision that angered Disney fans from the start.
The new show poster meme. I mean, nobody could quite understand why the beautiful Snow White was actually being played by Rachel Zegler to begin with, right? I mean, and Gal Gadot, like, mirror, mirror on the wall. I'm sorry, like, there's one that's winning that game, and I say this as a woman, okay?
From the moment Rachel Zegler was announced as the new Snow White, the internet exploded. Fans were stunned. This was supposed to be the fairest of them all. The Disney princess whose beauty was so legendary it drove the evil queen to madness. But when people saw Zegler in the role, the reaction was instant. They weren't buying it. The contrast between Zegler and Gal Gadot, cast as the evil queen, was glaring. If anything, people joked the roles looked reversed. The memes were brutal, but it wasn't just Zegler's appearance that fueled the backlash. It was her attitude. From the very beginning, she spoke about the project with thinly veiled disdain, making it clear she had little respect for the original Snow White story.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
She mocked its themes, ridiculed its romance, and openly dismissed the animated classic that defined generations. It wasn't just that Rachel Zegler was playing Snow White. She was dismantling the very legacy of the character she was meant to embody.
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024.
Disney was already on shaky ground, with a string of box office flops putting the studio under intense scrutiny. And now, Snow White was shaping up to be yet another disaster, one that could turn into a full-blown catastrophe for the company.
Between that and Israel, like, I'm just thinking that this movie's not going to do so well. I think a lot of people are going to say, you know what? I have better things to do with my time. I have better things to do with my money. I don't need to support an actress like that.
These weren't just casual complaints. Fans were outright promising to boycott the movie. Box office predictions were grim, with many saying, "I have better things to do with my money." And as the backlash grew louder, Rachel Zegler's response only poured fuel on the fire. Instead of stepping back or trying to ease tensions, she doubled down, casting herself as the victim and alienating even more of the audience.
I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have. I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
When critics called her out, she shifted the conversation away from the film's problems and onto herself, claiming she had been receiving death threats. While no one condones harassment, the timing of her statements struck many as calculated, an attempt to deflect criticism and win public sympathy. It was a classic distraction tactic, and audiences saw right through it. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more unprofessional, Zegler went and added even more fuel to the fire.
You have someone like Gal Gadot who's gorgeous physically and who seemingly has a great personality. I mean, she did do that cringe COVID ad. But seriously, though, when you see her in interviews and all of that, she's smiling, she's bubbly, she's just seems a lot more kind-hearted. So we have this circulating everywhere. Everybody's saying that again. So now I'm sharing this from Geeks and Gamers because I've been blocked by Rachel Zegler, so I can't see what she said. So she's catching heat online after her Instagram post where she goes, "I'm the fairest, by the way. Don't tell me that isn't about this. You can't tell me that. By the way, I'm the fairest." This reeks of narcissism so bad. She just can't handle the thought that some people that honestly, I would venture to say most people find Gal Gadot more beautiful than her.
She posted a cryptic message on X, calling herself the dearest, a phrase that instantly set off alarm bells among fans. Was she throwing shade at Gal Gadot? Was this some kind of inside joke meant to mock the woman she'd reportedly been feuding with for months? Fans immediately took it as a passive-aggressive dig. And just like that, the feud wasn't just a rumor anymore. It was being broadcast for the entire world to see. It wasn't hard to figure out why tensions were boiling over. The two stars were complete opposites. Where Gadot was effortlessly charming, Zegler came off as brash. Where Gadot carried herself with elegance and grace, Zegler often seemed bitter. And while Gadot appeared to genuinely enjoy her role, Zegler acted like she was too good for it. The contrast between them was impossible to ignore. But with the movie's release just around the corner and the feud now public, one big question hung in the air. How on earth were they going to survive the press tour together? The internet had already turned against the film. Would they even be able to fake civility long enough to sell it? Or was the real drama only just beginning? Fans certainly weren't waiting to find out. They began dissecting every interaction between Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot, looking for clues about just how bad things really were.
She is giving like an "I don't want to be here right now" smile, and Gal Gadot just looks so sweet, so nice. It's a stark difference. So here she is giving her interview, and she just looks like, "I don't want to be here right now." And that's one reason, and that's the thing, is that's one reason that does make Gal Gadot a likable person. Same here. Look how she's happy. She's like, "Oh, buddy, buddy." And Rachel Zegler just looks like, yeah, she does look like she can't stand her.
Her expression says it all. "I do not want to be here." Meanwhile, Gadot, ever the professional, keeps up her signature effortless charm, smiling, laughing, radiating the kind of grace that makes people naturally gravitate toward her. The contrast is almost painful to watch. Zegler might have had a chance to salvage her image if she'd chosen to handle things differently. But instead of dialing it back or trying to soften her public persona, she doubled down, proudly admitting to being a narcissist just when people thought she might try to redeem herself.
I'm a narcissist. Original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Okay.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part. That people will assume is a love story just because like we cast a guy in the movie, right. Andrew Burnap. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
I say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Yes, she actually said it out loud. If there was ever any doubt, that single moment confirmed what people had already suspected. Rachel Zegler thrives on attention and doesn't see a problem with the way she's been acting. And the internet devoured it, because who admits something like that in the middle of a PR disaster? But here's the real problem. They still have to promote this movie. Like it or not, Zegler and Gadot are contractually obligated to sit through interviews, smile for the cameras, and pretend they don't completely despise each other. How exactly is that supposed to work when they can't even make eye contact on stage? This is an absolute disaster waiting to happen, and Disney knows it. The studio is in full damage control mode, scrambling behind the scenes to salvage what's left. But at this point, can it even be saved? The internet has already made up its mind. The backlash is cemented. And the worst part, Zegler and Gadot can't just avoid each other for the next few months. They'll be forced to endure red carpets, joint interviews, and countless promotional events where every smile, every glance, every single word will be picked apart by millions of viewers. And no matter how hard they try to fake it, the public will see right through it. The big question now is whether they can hold it together long enough to make it through the press tour, or if this is all going to blow up spectacularly in public. Because let's be honest, if they're struggling this much already, the press tour might end up being more entertaining than the movie itself. Gadot, ever the seasoned pro, knows how to play the game, how to stay above the drama and charm a room even when the cameras stop rolling. Zegler, not so much, and that's what makes this situation so volatile. Sooner or later, something is going to crack. This feud isn't going anywhere. If anything, it's only getting uglier. And as the release date inches closer, one thing is clear. This is shaping up to be one of Disney's most awkward, uncomfortable, and disastrous productions in recent memory. The film itself might come and go, but this PR nightmare, people will be talking about it for years.